Notice that sign there. Pray. It's an important word. Hi, this is Bob back with you from Daily Enduring Truth, and I wanted to highlight this pray sign. I'm right in the way, aren't I? Anyway, I'm going to move a little bit to try to get there. This is the house of a friend of ours. It has a sign out that says pray, and you may have seen them in various houses around your neighborhood. It's going out because it's a reminder how important it is to pray. And I chose this week because I have a very important request. I want to pray for you. Now, what do I mean by that? I have a special format of a prayer that I use, but I'm always willing to change it if you have something to add to it. But I go through and I'm going to be doing drive-through prayers for people. Now, it might be in front of a house like this, and this is a group of my friends who I asked permission to film. It might be somebody that's far away. I live in Corpus Christi, so if you don't live in the Corpus Christi area, I wouldn't be able to drive through, but I could look over your Facebook page. I could look over a web page or a blog site and pray for you over that site. Pray virtually. Folks, prayer is so important, especially in these days, and we need to lift each other up in prayer. We need to be holding each other up in prayer, and we need to be showing God's love to our brothers and sisters in Christ. We need to be showing God's love to everybody. Now, and here's the deal on my praying. I don't care if you are the firmest believer in the world that God asks for advice, or if you're someone like me who's just trying to get along, if you have weak faith right now. I don't care if you have no faith and you're just trying to cover all your bases. If you believe in some God that nobody else has ever heard of, and you just, well, maybe I need to cover my bases, I will pray for you, because I think it's that important. And so, like I say, you saw the beginning of the pray sign, and you can sort of see it over in the corner there. I did this so I could stand in the shade because it's hot here in Corpus Christi. If anybody ever asks what it's like in Corpus Christi and you say hot, you're probably going to be right, unless hot is too mild a word to describe. All I know is that when the devil leaves Corpus Christi, he goes back home on vacation. Anyway, again, the point to pray, I do want to pray for you. But by the time I leave, I will have prayed for my friends who live in this house. And here's how you let me know. First, you can you can leave a comment on the YouTube and just say, please pray. If you have something more specific that you want to pray about, you can go to my Facebook page. My Facebook page is under the name Rocky Fort. You can check that. It'll say Bob James then, or Daily Enduring Truth, the group. You can go to my Twitter and leave a direct message. And again, that's at Rocky Fort. And just want to let you know that I will keep this confidential. I will, if you say, hey, please pray for a specific situation in an open forum, I will respond later and say, I have. If you respond privately, I will respond privately. But because I think your privacy and your confidentiality is important, and I think God can do amazing things. Well, this week in the Bible study, we had Jesus having some conflicts with the Pharisees. And it began because they didn't think the disciples washed their hands. Well, those of us who are used to COVID know you're supposed to wash your hands. And they didn't have the happy birthday song to sing when they washed their hands back then. But I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't that the disciples weren't necessarily washing their hands to get the dirt off. It's that they weren't following the spiritual ritual for washing their hands. How is it that our spiritual rituals take the place of our relationship with God? And that's what Jesus was saying as he went along. And so Jesus had quite a to-do with them about one of their practices which directly contradicted the way God works. And so we begin to see that Jesus is more about our relationship with God than about following specific rules and following specific rituals. What church do you go to? How do you worship? You know what? That doesn't matter to God. What he matters is that he has a relationship with you. And as you know, we obviously can't meet in person in most churches these days. A lot of us are meeting online, and that's okay. I don't think God has anything against it. I think God is for it. We may gather together via Zoom instead of in person. That's okay. The important thing is, where is our heart? Jesus made the point, it's not what goes into your body that's important, it's what comes out that shows your heart. So let your heart show others the love of God, the love of Jesus Christ. Have a great week.